Well, I hope you dressed appropriately. Sports bras, and jock straps. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Victor Allen's New Sports. His unique fan-based perspective on sports. That's right. The man that the ladies have nicknamed Sexual Chocolate. Rub his head and make it swish. Put on your sports bras and jock straps because it's time. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for New Sports with Vic. Yeah! Yeah! Sports!
Hey man, it was so funny. I'm at it on my phone, and usually on your phones, when you actually have your phone turned a certain way to certain apps, it automatically rotates and it configures for you, no matter what side you turn it on when you're portrait to landscape. I go on Twitch, mine is turned this way. It doesn't adjust and turns it upside down at the app. It just stayed upside down. So I'm looking and I'm going, oh man, I look on the display from my phone, I look fine. But on the display from looking at from the point of the viewer, that whole segment, I'm upside down. Twitch, I know you guys are bomb.
So if your stone is standing on your head, they can watch it and enjoy it
right.
Purposely.
So I want to apologize for you guys if you saw me all up in the grills here. Let me do my sports, man. Let me go ahead and do this because I know everybody wants to sit back and talk local sports since we're based in Los Angeles. But if I start off with March Madness, you're going to have some USC fans not happy. If I start off with Pac-12, totally not stepping up to the level that their historical representation plays in March Madness. And if I stick with the Lakers, everybody's going to talk about, hey, LeBron James. They don't care about the basketball game. They just care about, is he coming to L.A.? Let me go to Tiger Woods. Second place. If second place gets you success and ratings, has he been forgiven, Mario? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, he's a favorite.
Has he been forgiven? You know.
Yeah, he was never. I don't know that he was ever.
In the public eye.
To me, he got more past than almost anybody that I've seen in recent times.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
For drugs, for the woman, domestic, everything.
Right.
Infidelity. He got a pass on everything.
He's gotten a pass, man.
He got a pass on everything a good man would want to pass in.
So let me see the teaching model and the lesson is. If the public can absorb it, and the majority says we'll see it, and those who say I'm not going to watch him anymore, it doesn't matter. And then they get the ratings for a guy that comes in second place. One shot, got to give him to it, man. Valspar's championship, he was one shot away from at least taking it to overtime. So, I don't have to tell you guys all that. What I'm trying to figure out is this. If the ratings for the last 10 years is breaking records, plus 600% and all that, he's been forgiven, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. The model that we're teaching the public, those up and coming, young, athletic, wide variety of performers, are they getting a lesson here that to be the king is good to be the king?
It's always good to be the king.
Do you endorse that model? It's good to be the king.
I don't think it needs endorsement one way or the other. It's just one of those things that absolutely is.
It's right.
It
right.
just is.
Look,
you can choose not to like it. You can choose to like it.
Hey.
But it kind of is.
Stay on top, right? Stay on top with your drop.
That's right.
I say, look, okay, we treat sports here unlike the only sport that I know is slamming worldwide is soccer, and their whole culture adopts it like religion. So we haven't gotten to that level yet, and I'm not sure if we will, the way soccer has. Okay, so you looking forward to being the one that's going to place your bet on whether he's going to win another major?
No, I'm actually looking beyond him to March Madness. But like I said before, when he first started, it's downhill. I said, typically, when you're aging, you still have moments of greatness. It tends to be like you're going down with little spikes.
Right.
Of where you show your greatness. Just less often.
Right.
Less of a degree.
Right.
But it's the ability to consistently perform at a high level
Right.
that you kind of lose. You see it in all the ball players too. Same thing.
Right.
You can still have a moment of greatness. You can go out there one night and hit 5 threes, but the next game you can't really run with them. So here we go. So Tigers, the question is, when does he retire? But I guess that's all in him.
Yeah, well,
look at the numbers. You sort of demonstrated it. Even in the process of struggling with this whole process of aging,
right.
he continues to be the number one draw.
Right.
And so therein lies the message, I guess.
Well, and one of the things sit back, and how you doing, Eric, man? I see you. Thank you for the support here. I got you on Facebook, man. I'm trying to acknowledge without trying to interrupt the flow here because I'm staying here because I want to acknowledge because that's just part of the program. Hey, look, all I'm saying is most people didn't realize he had a back problem. Can anybody take witness to what it's like and how debilitating it is to have a back
Well, he had
problem?
2 surgeries. He was out, so it's been known. They might just not be paying attention
to it.
Right, but he's had 2 surgeries, and he had them at the height of his career, right?
Right.
So
yes. Yeah. So all I'm saying is this. We needed someone to cheer for. We needed somebody to fill the gap. That thing where they say once you were on top, that's it. I'm not mad at him. I'm not making the moral judgment on him because, first of all, those who are actually doing that get to hide behind thumbnails and probably most of the time double standards. So who am I to turn around and pass judgment on him? Look, I'm going to say this. As far as the guys, a lot of us grow up rolling with friends that do the stuff that Tiger does, and we still sometimes find ourselves hanging with our friends. When we actually want to do a function, this is back in the day, whatever you want to call your day. You needed a party, who did you go to? Call the bad guys.
Well, it wasn't a matter of, having a consensus over the morality of the ways that you chase the women.
Right.
So the point was that everybody was chasing.
Everybody was doing
so
it, man.
we could have a debate about the morality.
Right.
But, everybody was chasing.
Everybody was on their mission, and rightfully so. And I'm just going to say, look, everybody wants to see a king win. They want to see a champion bounce back. And so, hey, you guys got it. I'm not going to get into the Masters stuff, man. We'll see. I do believe he'll win something. That's all I can say. All right, man, I want to go to the next one, man, because Odell, okay, I'm hoping this is not true, but I'm just going to give it to you the way I am. I'm just going to say Odell and it's pizza. I'm just saying this. A video surfaced over the weekend featuring New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. and an aspiring French model, Laura Quincha, or Quincha, I'm not sure how they pronounce it. Some pepperoni pizza and what appears to be a blunt, as well as some lines of cocaine. Beckham can be seen holding what appears to be a blunt, while, of course, the model, Laura, is lining up the white powder substance with a credit card. However, she's already dived in to come to his defense and told the New York Daily News that Beckham was actually holding a piece of pizza. Piece of pizza. I'm going to keep saying it. Say that 5 times. In the video, it says that the Giant star did not take any drugs. You know what, Mario? For the sake of being objective, I believe her. I believe that if you're sitting in the bed with a model, a blunt, pizza, and strings of cocaine, you're not taking any drugs.
Well, he may not have snorted the cocaine. We've all been around people who were trying to use cocaine back in the day that we didn't do it.
Right.
I mean, there was a time where they said cocaine wasn't addicting.
Right.
And people were openly using cocaine at the nightclubs around Los Angeles.
Right.
Openly.
Right.
In the nightclubs.
Absolutely.
Okay, that was just the day.
Look.
So, but on the other hand,
wait a minute, Mark.
on the other hand, we are not.
Wait a minute.
We are not.
Wait a minute.
We're not Odell Beckham.
Wait a minute. Let me say this. First, what's up, Ray? I see you, man. Okay, let me just say this. Okay, let's just say he didn't. No, he's up for the biggest contract, for his talents, which are clearly above everybody else. Is he going to get that all-time contract? And if so, the message is that you can actually go take the picture, take the video. If you don't actually see me do it, then it's you can't assume there's no harm, no foul.
Well, that's the praise learning from the president.
Wait a minute, what are you? Oh, you know, you putting it on the president.
Learning from the president.
Wait a minute, the president didn't start this.
No, president set the attitude that says you could just bullshit everybody. Just say, hey, wait a minute. Who do you believe, me or your lying eyes?
Wait a minute.
Your lying eyes.
Look, man.
Your lying eyes.
All I'm saying is, okay, so what you're saying, let me just try to get this straight. I'm just saying this. I'm gonna take a quick. I'm gonna take a quick look and say, look at the picture. Look at her. The embed of
I think they were probably sharing poetry.
I just want you to understand. Okay, I'm not gonna look. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt more. I'm trying my best to give him the benefit of the doubt. What I'm saying, as far as the money is concerned, he's going to play football. They got him. Okay.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying they got him. I mean, the money's the thing. We're talking about. He may be affected by the money, right?
Yeah.
So.
But you just said the money's. You just said the
money. We're talking about now the negotiation. If you're literally saying, "Hey, I don't want to pay him as much as he's asking for it," will this help the argument? That's where I'm going at.
Oh, okay.
And
I think they don't want to touch this unless they're forced to.
Yes.
So they'll give him the same drug test, and if he passes, everybody will say bravo. Just pass the drug test. Maybe the league will even help him.
Well, he is going to pass the drug test, right?
Well, like I said,
because aren't the drugs really masked where they're playing catch up to try to catch them more over?
Well, it depends what drug.
Yeah.
Not cocaine.
Cocaine, no.
No, cocaine's pretty straightforward and specific.
How long in the system?
They try to create new drugs that are not part of the testing. That was like ecstasy was an attempt at that.
Right. Okay. My guess is, since they can't prove it, he's getting that contract. You got to prove it. All right. Now I'm gonna take you over to the next because we got to do the local here because the local is
that's a big deal,
dude. I know what it is. That's why I'm waiting to sit back and go. If they don't give him his contract, they're actually going, well, the perception of that, what's happening, maybe it doesn't prove it, but the image or the optics is not good and it can affect your money. So I'm pretty sure they're going to try to negotiate around it. All right, Lakers delivered. Okay, this guy, Julius Randle, I've always believed he plays bully ball. And he doesn't care who's around him. Got it. That wasn't the story of last night. Or the other night. I believe it was last night. That wasn't the story. The story was Isaiah Thomas coming back to play Cleveland. And LeBron. That got kind of lost. And the only reason why I'm saying that is that I think it became the third story. I think the first story is the Lakers literally going, let's convince him to come here. That was number one. Number two, Julius Randle went buck wild off. 36 points, 14 rebounds and 7 assists. So for him to demonstrate, you're going to negotiate me, contract up in this year, they get to negotiate him, free up cap space. We already talked about this. Was the display of what they did against Cleveland, akin to look how well we performed against Cleveland. LeBron and his minions, I don't mean no disrespect by that. Most people don't realize they don't have the regular team that won the NBA championship. Love is out. Kyrie is out. Tristan Thompson hasn't rebounded yet. So really it's LeBron James and a host of characters. Is this any way symbolic that the win yesterday wasn't that great, Mario? Because it's LeBron and the rest of the team. And part of the team is a couple of the former Lakers. So was it like Lakers playing Lakers B team with LeBron? Or was it that significant?
Well, it's significant. It just, to me, is a part of the signifying of the changing of the guard.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, let's put it like this.
Oh, yeah.
A reshuffling of the guard.
Absolutely.
Other people, other teams stepping forward. San Antonio dropping back. Cleveland dropping back. Celtics moving forward.
Yeah.
Lakers moving forward.
Right.
Houston moving forward. we can debate what the Warriors are doing.
Right.
But yeah, it's at least a reshuffling.
It is.
Of the guard. You know, Vic, all I can say is that I've already been on record for talking about the players I wanted to keep.
Right.
The debate we had was who you have to trade in order to get whatever this is you wanted. And I wanted to build around
the young talent.
Clarkson,
right,
Randall. And so they already traded Clarkson, which I thought was going to end up being a consistent, high-level, all-star performer possibly for years. So I was already disagreeing with that.
Right.
I disagree with Lou Williams.
They're both kind of the same players, too.
They did stuff. So here we have Randall that I've also said before. That,
right.
Again, I would keep him and build around those people and not be... And I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure I agree with the philosophy that espouses the Lakers go for this big... Again, I just wouldn't build my team that way, going for the big marquee player, big thing. That's
right.
I just wouldn't build my team like that even in L.A. I would build a strong, hard-working team. I would build like an San Antonio-type franchise here in Los Angeles. I wouldn't be building that other type of franchise. So we just get to see.
Right.
Maybe the Lakers will trade away every player that I thought was good.
Right.
But they already, to me, like I said, I'm giving Magic and them the benefit of the doubt because it's Magic. But I've disagreed with a bunch of the moves. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Like I said, I disagree with Lonzo Ball.
Right.
But we'll see.
Right.
So,
right. Look, believe me, if we were good at this, we'd be in the executive quarters making the decisions for basketball operations. No, I'm no way I'm in line with.
I would have kept Clarkson and traded Ball. Okay.
It's hard. It's hard because I think what they're doing is the same. It reminds me of Isaiah Thomas. It reminds me of Lou Williams. The one example that changed to me everybody currently was Russell Westbrook. They looked at him as a two guard, as long as Durant was there at Oklahoma, that he would just score. And that's as far as you could take him. And then operating on his own without having, a franchise player, he turned out to be an MVP, triple-double season. He became more of assist, rebound. He took it to the next level. It'll be interesting, your philosophy, especially with Clarkson, because now that he's on a team that has what they call senior leadership, he should be able to excel and tap into that talent. Or if he stays at the same place, then you look at him as a role player instead of somebody who affects change. Almost like what Boston did with Kyrie Irving. Did Kyrie's insertion take them to this certain level? And we still won't know until we get down the road when they're fully loaded with their complement, Gordon Hayward and everyone. So we'll see. So yet to be determined. I will just say I find it interesting that Cleveland, with the host of role players, with Nance, with Hood, Clarkson, J.R. Smith, that they're struggling at 500 ball. That's what I'm finding to be interesting. And they have a Hall of Fame player on their team, whereas the Lakers is probably going to your point, Mario, that here it is. We don't have any marquee players. And we're doing it, and our record is showing that we're now going to threaten 500 balls, so they're stepping up. Patience. And some people are saying, wait till next year to go to the market. But we all know this. They do need a marquee player. They will not be able to do it with just role players.
Again, see, my issue has to do with how you build a team. See, to me, and I guess because of that kind of a thing, I would have built still the strongest team I could out of the players I had. And then I would look to see at that point. That's not the philosophy. I could see trading Nance. I would never have traded Clarkson. And I would have built my team. I thought the one area that you had was some good guard play.
Right.
You still do. And so then I would just seek to wait for the time when it became more available.
Yeah.
And maybe it's one of the people that is new and young. Maybe that's a draft choice thing.
Right.
Maybe you can build a team and then wait for the next Embiid to come along, or someone like that, or the next Towns to come along,
Right.
then do it that way. I would certainly do it that way. Again, I would build the way San Antonio builds.
Well, but they did it with 3 Hall of Fame players starting, and even
but
before
how
that.
they got there,
But they anchored.
They're not known for making crazy trades.
No. I agree.
Rid of half their
but
team
once
for
they
one
started,
player.
once they had Robinson handed off to Duncan. Duncan handed off to Ginobili. They had an anchor of a Hall of Fame player already embedded.
Which they acquired
Right.
in the means of which I'm saying they
Right.
did no crazy trades.
No.
And even the marquee players they have now,
Right.
they didn't do those kind of destructive team trades
Right.
to get there.
Right.
And that's the part I don't understand.
Right.
When you just destroy your team
Right.
for another direction
Right.
when you already were good.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why
I agree. Look, I agree with being patient and diligent.
Well, let's see what the Lakers do again. I'm saying obviously Magic and them must know something that I don't. But
same here.
I have not agreed with the decision. So let's see.
Okay. All right, we're going to take you over to the next topic, which a lot of people are mad because of how the story is being framed, and I call it Legion of Boom -1. Okay. Signs with San Francisco 49ers. Richard Sherman has agreed to a 3-year contract deal laden with incentives for up to $39 million. And he's already having to respond to the public who are already saying that the jerseys are now being torn apart and burned because they don't realize Seattle let him go. He didn't negotiate and say, I'm not. They just let him go. And with that being said, they're doing what they call dumping the money. And here's the other thing.
Yeah, and I always go, when they show those things, please don't make the mistake of assuming that that's most fans.
Right.
When you
Small
see
part.
those people,
Small part.
see the loudest voices get the press, but that doesn't mean that's the way the majority.
But
that could be a very distinct minority of the fans.
How they're going to accept the responsibility of this is the part where they're going to say, do we still have the Legion of Boom? It's still 3 cats that's still playing. But since Bennett is already gone, which he wasn't part of the official Legion of Boom, but Bennett's gone, Sherman's gone, they're already talking about 1 or 2 more players. I'm going, so are they breaking up the Legion of Boom? Unlike a defensive team we've seen, like the Baltimore Ravens back in the day, Pittsburgh Steelers, we really enjoyed
They
this.
had 3 fairly major injuries across that secondary.
Yes, they did.
That's why, and I think it was more, but those are the 3 because Cam Chancellor has had a rough 2
time.
years.
Earl Thomas had his.
So that's the part where I wasn't sure, Vic. See, to me, I was wondering, and even before his injury, Sherman was looking like he had lost a step or 2.
Right.
Because people were challenging him. So I don't know, as much as I'm a fan of his, we all get older, and I don't know if this wasn't us. I thought it was a sign of the times that the whole secondary had peaked.
All at the same time. Let me say something.
Man, they all got hurt at the same time.
Right.
They all got hurt around, I was just going, wow, they're all getting hurt.
And I'll take this up to leadership. If you depend, which I remember the Baltimore Ravens going through this, it says, look, we're the anchor. We're the defense that's trying to hold on until you guys invest in this offense. So we don't have to be torn down. You keep us on the field forever, we're going to break down. And that's what they did. If everybody noticed, the offense was tanked. Russell himself, Wilson, basically is looking at himself going, I'm going to have a short NFL career as quarterback if they don't do anything. They didn't do much. And I always said, you see the peeling apart coming. When Marshawn Lynch said, I got to go, I said, okay, they see something. It didn't pan out. This is where your organization, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, know how to retool.
Yeah.
New England knows how to retool. What they sustained, they got 2 Super Bowls now.
We can have a different discussion about Pittsburgh.
But
they've done a reasonable
and
job.
stay up. Always
they did
the first.
A reasonable job.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did a textbook job.
No. I'm not using his textbook.
I would be pointing to them as the example.
No, what I'm saying is the Seahawks just went from here we are. We're basically going to always have 10 or 11 wins and be in the mix. And then they just took a nosedive. So I'm not saying that they're not going to bounce back. This is where the leadership comes in and you say, okay, you guys suffered through offense last year. You're unloading some money on your defense. is this the retooling, or you're seeing some talent out there that you can plug in, and people don't see it yet?
They do have a separate GM, but Pete Carroll has a lot of leeway, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, unlike this, man, we talked about this. In different organizations, the GM versus the head coach, there's different responsibilities.
Right.
But like New England, too.
Right.
Pete Carroll has a lot to say about the personnel.
He does, and then they're going to go by the analytics. They're going to go by the life cycle, the lifespan.
I'm just saying, as a fan of Richard Sherman and a fan of the Seahawks secondary,
right?
I actually was a little bit disheartened.
I was,
because they were hurt,
and he's a leader.
I like all the players. I like all of them. I like Richard. I like Cam Chancellor. I like Earl. I like all of them. And so the fact, it was just making me feel like the inevitable happens. Like you get older, injuries start to happen,
right?
Other things, and that's part of the process.
Well, even Ray Lewis, when he won his last championship, he wasn't at his best in those years, but they surrounded him with other players that said, look, his leadership. And listening to a former executive who actually said, these are the decisions we're looking at. And he commented, he says, look, the intangibles that Richard brings is he is strongly intelligent, highly educated, thought-provoking, a leader. And when you unload a leader, you actually are saying, we have a better leader somewhere in the mix. Or they go, well, his leadership is not worth the value of the money that we have to pay him. And to me, that's where the decision came in. So I'm not sure, man. I'm just saying, look, I'm shocked that it was him. I was going, Richard? I said, okay.
Well, I was not shocked by any of this.
I was shocked.
And I wouldn't be shocked if you have more. I'm actually not shocked.
Yeah, they're looking.
I actually expect
a few more
for them, and they also remember they need to deal with some issues with the offensive line.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but they got to invest. They didn't put no money into it. They just literally said we don't.
Whereas one of the weaker teams in the leagues, I keep reading, Cleveland has one of the better offensive lines.
Right.
And so maybe we can see that this year with the new people.
You put Cleveland on the map right now, I'll let you live that one out because
I can't. I only mention it because they're talking so much about Cleveland in the press, about how they think that they did a good restructuring, revamping in the draft and through trades.
Yeah.
But that's what they're saying. They're saying that Cleveland did and that they should look. So we'll see. But that is one of the big talks that's going around.
Did you believe that they would win one game last year? Because the coach said, we are going to win a game. And then the wake-up came. One game,
Only twice in history. Only twice in history have they lost every game.
Okay, this is not a display. This is a quick opinion before we move on to a March Madness. And Ndamukong Suh let go. Money deal, hey, he's not what he used to be. I didn't get to read any of the details, so you guys have more up on me than I know. I wonder if the image of Ndamukong was more prevalent than the force that he brought, because he was kind of known for, flirting with the lines of penalty. You can't do that. You can't do that. And now he's on Miami, which has not been a contender. When I say that, playoff contender, and they let him go. You think it's money, or is it? Yeah, you know what? We can get somebody who could probably.
Well, it always is money, at least partially, but there's some performance issues,
right?
Even though I would say that's really just 1 year that he did.
He's in there for two or 3 years.
No, I mean that he's had that were a little more troubled.
Oh, yeah. He would always... I mean, when he was in Detroit, he had some things going on, of course.
Well, I mean, in terms of performance.
Yeah.
He did good initially with Miami. I don't know what last year was like.
I don't know either. So maybe, like I said, they see something. Shocked that I heard about that this morning. So I didn't get to see any details, so that's why I couldn't bring you anything. All right, going to take you out of bounds with this and see if Mario's planning to watch any of the games since.
I always watch March Madness.
You always watch it, right?
I always watch March.
Okay, all right. So one of the stories of the Pac-12 is the team that went, they have the championships, the league championships. USC battle for the championship, I believe, against Arizona. Typically, the teams that are fighting for the championship in the division, the first and second, usually get in. USC, it's not going to the dance. They've already said snubs that shouldn't have been snubbed. It's an opinion. Not a big deal. Also, Pac-12, unlike any other year, is totally underrepresented in a performance level because we only got about 3 teams that's going. I think both Arizona's maybe and UCLA. If you're not watching the Pac-12, is there a team you're looking at for Cinderella, or are you just watching the games because you know the excitement's going to be coming down to the last minute?
I'm just watching the games. The part I like about March Madness that I specifically look for every year is the fact that I get to see teams that I've never seen throughout the season. And some of them I've never seen in life.
Right.
Really perform well. It's wonderful basketball. So I like the excitement of the different teams. I like seeing the underdogs. There's always some underdog that does something. Just like there's always some super dog that falls.
Right.
So there's always that. So in terms of competition, Vic, this really beats a lot of even the pro stuff, right? I mean, in terms of excitement, it kind of beats the Super Bowl for me.
Okay.
Because I see a bunch of games.
All right.
Usually every year I see a bunch of games that are amazing, and I try hard to remember some of the players for when they go to pros. I did that with Towns.
Right.
I did that with our man on the Pelicans. Anthony Davis. Yeah, because you get to see some of these cats, and then you know you're going to see them in the pros. You know.
Right.
And then you can't wait.
Right.
Even D'Angelo now at the on the Nets, right? The Russell. You know, I remember seeing him.
Right.
So, you know, there's a bunch of them. Oh, well, even Julius Randle.
True.
I got to see him, you know, play in the NCAA. So, no, Vic, I'm excited, dude.
You're excited for it?
So, I actually... It's become one of my better sporting events.
Okay.
I really, really like the idea, and I guess I should be asking myself, what is it I like about what they do that seems to make it right? Because something seems, but I don't know how they select their teams, Vic. I don't know if they're a vote or a computer. I don't know how they're selecting the team.
They have a formula, and when they start explaining it, let me tell you what happens with it. The argument becomes, it's imperfect, and you're gonna leave teams out. So you heard it all this morning. So look, the teams are in, the teams that are in, but they said the hardest part is trying to explain the formula when all of a sudden you have a team like St. Mary's. They are, they win 28 games, lose 4. When they say weak competition, okay, you're not in the dance. They'll take Gonzaga. See, this is I call it the West.
Gonzaga's always there.
Yeah, but see, they've won like 28 games. Any team that right now that's about 28 games in any mix as it relates to number 1 or 2 seeds, they're basically a 1 or 2 seed. Well, what's held against them is strength of schedule. But they proved the point that they said, well, the same thing happened with Gonzaga, last year, but they weren't a 4 seed. Same strength of schedule. They didn't hardly play them, so they were comparing, they played the same type of teams. How come they were a 1 or a 2 last year? Excuse me, a 2 probably. And they're a 4 this year. So they've compared that the formula seems to switch around. Now, I'm not trying to jump on, there's an extreme West Coast bias. But the reason why I believe it is because they use some of the eye tests. And since it's already been admitted that almost all the coaches that's in this formula and everybody else watching do not watch the games because they come on late out here. So you're literally going into the next day, basically going, I just watched, and they've admitted this, an ESPN clip or something similar, and then go judge by that. So they're not watching the games.
Well, one thing good about that, it represents a clear problem, so it's an easy fix, right?
Yeah.
They could easily fix that by changing the way it's done.
Oh, yeah.
If they want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not mad. So, hey, look.
They could change that.
Hey, look, I want to talk about more. It's a lot more. I'm going to follow the Odell Beckham story. I really want to find out about more. That video, I'm out, man, my new sportsman. We go to the next one, the last one. Enjoy your Monday, man. It's all good in the hood. And you're coming.
Victor Allen's New Sports. Written and directed by Victor Allen. Recurring segment of the Morning Coffee with Mario show. Come and join us. Be there. Be part of it. Be part of the experience. New Sports. Hot and happening. Yes, everybody.